And Chevron asks us, hey guys, love the vids. Thank you. We love you. I'm traveling on a working holiday visa for 2 years and wondering what are the sort of lowest temperature ranges in New Zealand? All right, how cold does it get in New Zealand? Well, we do have Brandon right now from Canada that's going to laugh at us, but for us, it is cold.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing you need to know is that it gets cold in New Zealand in winter, and winter in New Zealand is June, July, and May?
August.
I don't know why I wrote May. June, July, and August. And so the highest temperature in winter in New Zealand are between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, which are between 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the lowest temperatures can be found in the South Island mountain ranges, and that can be down to
minus 10 degrees Celsius, or that's minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Minus 10 Celsius.
Yeah.
I find that absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, but bearing in mind that is in the mountainous areas of the South Island, and just so you know that the temperatures are quite varied across New Zealand. So the further north you go, the warmer the temperatures tend to be, and the further south you go, the colder it gets. So so in terms of snow and frost and such in winter, snow usually just tends to hang around the mountainous areas. So that might be on the southern Alps of the South Island or on the North Island volcanoes. And very rarely the snow reaches into the towns and cities. And that's mainly because New Zealand is, it's islands. So it has mostly a maritime climate where the ocean affects the weather. And that usually means that snow doesn't get the lowland areas. And frost can happen anywhere.
Pretty much anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but it usually tends to be obviously around the colder areas, and frost only happens if it is a still night with no wind. And most nights in New Zealand it's pretty windy. So yeah.
Cool. So now the main thing that you're going to be the main thing that you're going to experience is temperature that feels much colder than what they are, because New Zealand is a rather windy country. In fact, we have the windiest city in the world, which is Wellington. And so if it's like let's say 0 degrees and you have quite a big breeze, it can feel like minus 10 or 20. It can feel really, really cold. But that means that you literally just have to put a rain jacket on to block the wind, and instantly you're going to be much, much, much warmer. You don't necessarily need those really thick clothes like you would need in Canada or Quebec. Those big furry stuff. You don't necessarily need that all the time unless you head to the ski fields. And now the main thing that you're going to experience in winter is rain. Okay, a lot of people kind of forget to think about the rain in winter rather than just think about the cold, right? It does rain much more in winter than it does rain during the rest of the year, and so the rainfalls in New Zealand regions can range between 600 millimeters to 1,600 millimeters throughout the year. So that is a lot of rain. So rain jacket is definitely very important, and the difference you're going to find with weather between winter and summer is going to be the amount of rain more than the cold temperature, because again, minus 10, yes, it is cold. To us, we think it's really, really cold, but it's not as cold as some regions that you can think of, especially for a country like New Zealand, which is so close to Antarctica.
Yeah. So in terms of extreme weather scenarios, that doesn't really affect New Zealand so much. The only extreme weather that may slightly influence New Zealand is any tropical cyclones that are happening further north in the South Pacific. They may have that may bring a few stronger winds to New Zealand at some times, or heavy rain, but that it's usually nothing devastating and nothing that you really need to worry about. Shall we move on to where to avoid?
We were thinking, you may want to avoid the bad weather. If you ask this question, that may mean that you don't like winter and you may want to avoid it. So if you want to avoid the bad weather, what can you do?
So if you want to get to the sunniest and warmest places during winter, then the best thing you can do is head to Northland, which is the very northern region of New Zealand, and that's again because it's closer to the equator, so usually it's a little bit warmer up there and it has a bit of a subtropical climate.
Your other options will be to head to the coast. New Zealand has thousands and thousands of kilometers of coastline, and when you close the water to the ocean, basically it gets almost instantly warmer. So if you settle in a coastal town, which most towns are coastal, you should be all good. Some of the towns which are very much inland, like Queenstown, for example, gets much colder than what a place like, even just on the same kind of line on Dunedin, for example, it'd be almost instantly warmer. So that can be a good option for you if you're trying to avoid the cold winter in New Zealand. Now, we hope that was really useful. I know that it's a question, like weather is something that really worries a lot of people. So I hope that this helps you kind of put things in perspective. If you do have any follow-up questions of your own, put them in the comment below and we get to it on the next live session.